I didn't flip the table. I didn't scream. I didn't even cry. I just quietly signaled the waiter for the check well, my half of the check, and watched her life implode in slow motion. Here's the scene. Friday night, the rehearsal dinner. We are at this insanely overpriced rooftop bistro downtown. It's me, Paul, 30M, my fiancée, Christina, 28F, my best man, Nick, our families, and the bridal party. About 40 people. The mood is electric. We are 1 week out from the wedding, the big day. The day I've been saving for, sweating for, and planning for 2 years. Christina stands up to give a toast. She loves the spotlight. She's glowing, holding a flute of champagne that probably costs more than my first car. She taps the glass. Everyone hushes. My mom is beaming. I'm smiling like an idiot, ready to hear about how we're soulmates. Paul, she says, looking right at me. You're a good man. Pause. Long pause. Too long. But I can't do this, she continues, her voice steady, amplified by the silence of the room. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I look at you and I look at my life, and I realize I'm settling. I'm settling for a safe life, and I'm too young to be safe. I don't love you the way a woman should love her husband. I'm calling it off. Dead silence. You could hear the ice melting in the buckets. My mom dropped her fork. It clattered against the china like a gunshot. Christina didn't look sad. She looked relieved, empowered, like she was the main character in a movie finding her truth. She actually smiled, a tight, triumphant little smile, waiting for applause or something. She expected a scene. She expected me to beg. She expected me to cry and ask why, Christina, why? But my brain just clicked over. It was like a breaker switch flipped in my head. The sadness didn't hit. The shock didn't hit. Just pure, cold clarity. I stood up. I didn't look at her. I looked at Nick. Nick, I said, voice calm, grab the gifts. Then I looked at Christina. She was still holding the champagne, looking confused that I wasn't on my knees. Okay, I said. Thank you for the heads up. I walked over to her. She flinched, maybe thinking I was going to yell. I held out my hand. The ring, I said. Paul, don't make a scene, she hissed, suddenly realizing the room was staring at her like she was a monster. You made the scene when you humiliated me in front of my grandmother, I said. The ring, now. It was a family heirloom, 1920s Art Deco, worth a fortune, but priceless to my family. She hesitated. I saw her hand curl over it. She wanted to keep it. She actually thought she could keep it. Christina, her father boomed from the back of the room. He sounded like he was choking on ash. Give him the damn ring. She slid it off, slamming it into my palm. Fine, if you're going to be petty about it. Petty? I laughed. It was a dry, hollow sound. You just canceled our wedding a week out. I'm not being petty. I'm being practical. I pocketed the ring. Then I turned to the room. 40 stunned faces. Folks, obviously the wedding next Saturday is off, I announced. However, the venue is non-refundable. The bar is paid for. The DJ is booked. So next Saturday, same time, same place, I will be hosting the Paul Dodged Nuclear Warhead party. Open bar, no speeches, you're all welcome. Except the bride. I looked at Christina one last time. Good luck with the invoices, I said. Then I walked out. I sat in my car for 5 minutes, just breathing. My hands weren't shaking. I felt lighter, like I'd just dropped a 100-pound rucksack I didn't know I was carrying. Here is the kicker, the detail that turns this from a sad breakup into a financial bloodbath for her. Christina is obsessed with image. She calls herself an influencer, though she only has about 3K followers. When we started planning the wedding, she demanded that every single contract be in her name. The venue, the florist, the caterer, the photographer. She wanted to be the client of record so she could build her portfolio and get the credit points on her fancy new travel card. She gave me a whole speech about financial independence and building her own credit history. She refused to let me co-sign anything. I'm a modern woman, Paul. I don't need your name on my contracts. So I let her. I just transferred money to her account every month to cover my share. But the final payments, the big ones, the remaining balances for the venue, 25K, the catering, 18K, the florals, 12K, and the planner, 8K, they are all due this Monday, 2 days from now. I haven't transferred that money yet. I was going to do it tomorrow morning. Now, not happening. She is legally the sole signatory on $88,000 worth of outstanding bills and non-refundable deposits, and she just publicly dumped the guy who was funding it. I blocked her number before I even started the engine. Update 1. The morning after. Saturday. I woke up to 47 missed calls and a text thread that looked like the script of a telenovela. I stayed at Nick's place last night. Nick is a legend. He didn't ask if I was okay. He just handed me a whiskey and ordered 3 pizzas. The first voicemail I listened to was from Christina's mother. "Paul, you can't be serious. Christina is hysterical. She says you're blocking her bank transfers. You know those payments are due Monday. You need to grow up and stop punishing her. Relationships end, but you have a financial obligation." I didn't respond. Then a text from Christina, sent via email because her number is blocked. Subject: "Unblock me right now." "Paul, this is financial abuse. You promised to pay for the wedding. Just because I realize we aren't compatible doesn't mean you get to ruin my credit. I have the venue on the phone, and they are threatening to send the account to collections if the wire doesn't hit by Monday. Be a man and send the money. We can discuss the ring later." Discuss the ring? The ring she tried to steal? I spent the morning with a coffee in one hand and my bank app in the other. I canceled every scheduled transfer. I called the bank to ensure no authorized user access remained on any of my accounts. I was thorough. Around noon, Nick and I went to the venue not to cancel, but to rebrand. The venue coordinator, a nice lady named Sarah, looked terrified when we walked in. She had heard. News travels fast in this town. "Mr. Wagner," she said, I'm so sorry." "Don't be," I said. "I'm here to clarify the event details for next Saturday." "But," Ms. Christina called. She said the wedding is canceled. "The wedding is canceled," I corrected. "The event, however, is fully paid for regarding the deposit, correct? Yes, the initial $15,000 deposit is down, but the remaining $25,000 is due Monday, and since the contract is in Ms. Christina's name." "Right," I interrupted. "Here's the thing, Sarah. I'm taking over the event, but I'm not paying her contract. I want to book the space as a private party. New contract. My name." Sarah looked confused. "I can't just void her contract unless she cancels it in writing, which triggers the cancellation fee, which is the full amount." "Exactly," I said. "She's going to default on Monday. When she does, her contract is void, and you keep her deposit. I'll be here Tuesday morning with a check to book the now vacant space for a private party. Same food, same booze, just no ceremony. And change the decor. I want black and gold, no flowers." Sarah smiled. A wicked little smile. She knew exactly what was happening. "I'll see you Tuesday, Paul." On the way out, I ran into Christina's dad in the parking lot. He must have been tracking me or guessing I'd come here. He looked 10 years older than he did last night. "Paul," he said. He didn't yell. He sounded defeated. "She's a mess." "She seemed pretty confident last night, Frank," I said. "She didn't think you'd actually walk away," he admitted. "She thought you'd fight for her, or at least pay the bills to save face." "She gambled," I said. "She lost. It's $88,000, Paul. It will bankrupt her. She's 28. This will ruin her life." "Frank," I stepped closer. "She stood up in front of your friends and my family and told me I wasn't good enough. She didn't do it privately. She made it a show. The ticket price for that show is $88,000. If she wants to play the independent modern woman, she can pay the independent modern bills." He stared at me. He knew I was right. He got back in his car and drove off. Update 2, the lawsuit threat, Tuesday. Monday came and went. The deadline passed. I didn't send a dime. From what I heard through the grapevine, Nick's girlfriend is still in the bridal party group chat spying for us. Monday was pure chaos in Christina's world. She tried to take out an emergency loan. Denied. She tried to get her parents to remortgage their house. They refused. Good job, Frank. She tried to convince the vendors to take a payment plan. They laughed. These are high-end vendors. They don't do IOUs. Tuesday morning, I went to the venue and signed a new contract for my party. I got a discount because it was a last-minute booking for a date that had just unexpectedly opened up. The irony was delicious. Tuesday afternoon, I got served. Well, threatened to be served. A scary-looking letter from a lawyer's office arrived via email and courier. It accused me of breach of promise, promissory estoppel, an intentional infliction of emotional distress. It demanded I pay $44,000, half the costs, plus $5,000 for her pain and suffering. I called my family lawyer, an old shark named Mr. Henderson. I sent him the letter and the contracts Christina had signed. Henderson called me back 10 minutes later. I could hear him chuckling. "Paul, my boy," he said, "this is cute. Is it valid? Not even close. In this state, engagement rings are conditional gifts. You get that back if the marriage doesn't happen, usually regardless of fault, but especially since she broke it off. As for the contracts, you say she insisted on being the sole signatory? She was adamant about it, said she wanted the credit card points and the status. Then she is the sole debtor. Unless you signed a separate document with her agreeing to indemnify her costs, you are a ghost. You don't exist in this transaction. Promissory estoppel is a hard sell when she is the one who canceled the consideration, the marriage. So what do? Nothing. I'll write a response. It will basically say, go kick rocks in legal Latin. But Paul, keep the texts where she admits she canceled it, and save the voicemail from her mother admitting she canceled it. Done. I slept like a baby that night. Update 3. The truth comes out. Thursday. The party is in 2 days. The RSVPs are rolling in. My side of the family is 100% attending. My college buddies are flying in. Even some of her cousins, the ones who always secretly hated her, are coming. But today, the other shoe dropped. I was at the gym, hitting the bag, working off the last of the anger, when Nick walked in. He looked grim. "You need to see this," he said, handing me his phone. It was a screenshot from an Instagram story. A guy named Chad. I swear to God, his name is Chad. He's a personal trainer at the luxury gym Christina joined 6 months ago. The photo was from last Friday night, the night of the rehearsal dinner. It was a selfie of him and Christina. She was wearing the same dress she wore to the dinner. They were in a bar. The caption read, "Finally free. My girl knows what she wants, and it isn't a boring desk job. Ex-power couple, yes, new chapter." She went straight to him after she dumped me. "I did some digging," Nick said. "She's been training with this guy 5 days a week. Rumor has it, he convinced her that she could do better. Told her you were holding her back. Told her she was a star." "Let me guess," I said, looking at Chad's profile. He looked like a protein shake with legs. "He's broke?" "He lives in a shared apartment and leases his BMW," Nick confirmed. And here is the best part. I had my girl check the group chat. Apparently Chad found out about the $88,000 debt yesterday. And he ghosted her, blocked her on everything, deleted the photo. I sat down on the bench press. I started laughing. I laughed until my ribs hurt. She blew up her life, humiliated me, and took on crippling debt for a guy named Chad, who leases a BMW and ran the second he saw a price tag. "So, she's alone," I said. "Alone, broke, and the laughing stock of the city," Nick said. "So, about the party. Can we get an ice sculpture? Maybe one shaped like a bullet." "Done," I said. Update 4. The party, Sunday. Yesterday was the day. The dodged a bullet ball. It was magnificent. I wore my tuxedo. I felt it was appropriate to mourn the death of my bank account's potential suffering. The venue looked incredible. We stripped out all the pastel flowers Christina wanted and replaced them with stark, modern lighting and open space. It looked like a nightclub, not a wedding. About 150 people showed up. The food was 5-star. The drinks were top shelf. The music was loud. Around 9 p.m., there was a commotion at the front entrance. I was holding a bourbon, talking to my aunt, when the security guard, I hired 2 off-duty cops just in case, waved me over. It was Christina. She looked rough. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were red. She was wearing a hoodie and jeans, standing at the door of the venue she booked, looking at the party she planned, which I was now hosting without her. "Let me in," she was screaming at the guard. "This is my venue. My name is on the contract." I walked over. The music was thumping behind me. "Actually," I said, stepping into the light, "your contract was voided on Tuesday for non-payment. This is my venue now." She froze. She saw me in the tux. She saw the party inside. She saw our friends laughing, drinking, having the time of their lives. "Paul," she choked out. Her voice was cracked. "Please, I'm ruining everything." My credit score dropped 200 points. The caterer is suing me. My parents won't speak to me. Chad left me. "I know," I said. I made a mistake, she sobbed, reaching for my arm. The guard stepped in, blocking her. I was confused. I got scared. I love you. We can fix this. Just, please help me pay these bills. We can get married. I'll sign a prenup. Anything. I looked at her, really looked at her. I remembered the rehearsal dinner, the mic drop, the I'm settling. Christina, I said softly, you wanted independence. You wanted to be the main character. Well, look at you. You're the center of attention. Everyone is talking about you. She looked around. A few guests had come to the door to watch. They were whispering. You're cruel, she spat. No, I said. I'm just the guy you settled for, and frankly, you can't afford me anymore. I turned to the guard. She's not on the list. If she stays, call the police. I walked back into the party. The DJ dropped a beat. The crowd cheered. I didn't look back. Final update. 1 month later, the dust has settled. The lawsuit against me was dropped. Her lawyer realized there was zero blood to squeeze from this stone and fired her as a client when she couldn't pay his retainer. Christina filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy last week. The $88,000 was just the tip of the iceberg. Apparently, she had maxed out 3 credit cards, buying clothes for her new life, the week before the wedding. She had to move back in with her parents. Her dad called me once, not to yell, but to apologize. He said he was ashamed of her behavior. I told him I didn't blame him, but I couldn't be part of their lives anymore. The gym guy, Chad, is apparently dating a 19-year-old influencer now. Classic. As for me, I took the money I would have spent on the wedding and the future divorce and put a down payment on a small cabin up north. A quiet place, no reception, no microphones. I kept the ring. I'm having the diamond reset into a pendant for my mother, and I sold the setting for scrap gold. People ask me if I'm bitter. Honestly, no. I feel like the luckiest man alive. Most guys find out their wife is a narcissist, 5 years and 2 kids in, when half their assets are on the line. I found out for the low, low price of a party and a broken heart. I didn't just dodge a bullet. I dodged a heat-seeking missile. And the party? Best money I